Yo, what it do? Okay, so in the last video I said that we would recap the first three wars and then I would give you the alliance rankings after War 3. By the time I actually sat down to do all this stuff, I had the data for War 4, so we're just going to do the first four wars scoreboard recaps, and then we're going to do the alliance rankings after the fourth war. It'll kind of be like our one-third of the way through the season report. So anyway, first we have GT40. They died 4 times, which is a lot for them, but they still win. And one of the things that you guys will notice throughout the first 4 wars is there's a lot more parity, and a lot of alliances have struggled adapting to the new global, at least relative to how they were doing last season. Now, last season was, I think, at least the 3rd season of the Conduit Global, so by that point, a lot of alliances, especially in the Master, like on the higher end, with good, smart players, strong planners, they're going to figure things out, and with reps and experience, they're going to die less and less the more that they face a certain global, and we'll see the same thing with this throughout the season. But that is something of note. A lot of alliances out of the gate have struggled a little bit just to adapt. And then another thing to note here is the noon DSVG war. In-game, KT made a video about this. They had the same number of deaths, of course, and New Nation had a briefer fight duration, but the game awarded DSVG the win. Now, it is something that was reported in the CCP. It is something that has been confirmed as a bug, but nothing beyond that has been said. And, you know, I was really hoping that Kabam would have manually fixed the points and the war ratings prior to the leaderboard being published after War 3. They didn't do that, and I'm sure that they will fix it by the end of the season, of course. I mean, the sooner they fix it, the better, because a record does have an influence on matchmaking, and of course war rating has an influence on matchmaking, and currently New Nation has a lower war rating than they should. DSVG has a higher war rating than they should. So New Nation is going to, match some alliances that they shouldn't be matching. And frankly, being lower on the war rating leaderboard, it's going to cause mismatches for other alliances that they had nothing to do with, and that's really not fair to them. So they need to get it fixed. I mean, it's obvious for a multitude of reasons that they need to get it fixed. But, if somehow they go through this season and they don't change, they being Kabam, don't correct this, that would just completely annihilate the integrity of Alliance War, and frankly, it would be hard to stay motivated to win, So anyway, that's just a little mini rant there. And MIBR and X5E throughout the season on these scoreboards are going to have red text because they were docked last season. Sorry if you're in one of those alliances and think that I'm dogpiling or being unfair. It just is what it is. All right, war number 2, GT40, of course they win. New Nation with a bona fide loss there. Unfortunately for them, 9 is, I think, more than they had in any single war last season. Yeah, you can kind of look around the map for Loki with a really impressive win against Next. Next was a Platinum 1 alliance last season, but they have strong rosters, so that is impressive. And then D69 with a 5 death clear against Paulo. So lots to look at, but you guys can start to see the parity across the scoreboard. We'll see throughout the first 4 wars. GT40 finally gets back to their normal selves with a 1 death clear, Noon with 4, and then the big upset of this war is D69 beat JA. D69 with another 5 death clear against one of the best alliances in the world. DSVG wins. LVT, we got smacked around by SSX. SSX is going to be really good this season. We'll get into them when we talk about the rankings updates. But they had cleared most of the fights with only 4 deaths, and then they got lost on 1 fight, basically. But all right, war number 4, LVT. I mean, we squeaked by a win. Another bad clear, honestly, 10 deaths, but we do pick up the win. And 4 Loki with their 3rd consecutive 4 death clear. And there's Noon again, man. I don't know what's going on with him. I don't want to speculate, but, it is worth noting that some alliances are going to just be better at certain globals. Some alliances are going to pick up and on new globals a little bit quicker. And I think a lot of that has to do with how restrictive some of the global defenders are on certain placements. And this global isn't hard on its own, but in combination with certain defenders on certain placements, the counters are incredibly restrictive, and a lot of those counters are being banned. Some of those counters are not, champs that alliances would have a lot of at rank 4. So who knows what's going on with them, but 11 is not something that they would consider acceptable. And I'm sure that they will get back, get things back into form, but it is kind of shocking to see there. All right, brief disclaimer here. Some of you guys are going to see these rankings and you're going to think that I'm manipulating something, or that I'm, that I'm stupid or something. You're just going to be upset at where your alliance is so far in the algorithm. Let's just jump right in head first. We got GT40, of course, at number 1. And then you see JA, DSVG, TCN, and XK9 all move up 1 because, Noon is nowhere to be found in the top 10. All right, and then 4 Loki and D69 are huge movers. D69, 3-1, 6th in strength of schedule. They've died 13th. They have the 13th most attack bonuses lost throughout the start of the season. But I think most of those came in War 1. All right, and then 4 Loki, they're kind of the opposite. They're 4-0. They're second on the in-game leaderboard. They have been one of the most efficient clears through 4 wars in the world. The only reason the algorithm doesn't like them more is because all 4 alliances they've faced have been unranked, outside of the top 20, didn't finish in Masters last season. So they're getting 0 points in the strength of schedule category. And you don't even have to get a lot of points in strength of schedule, but you have to get some points in strength of schedule. Otherwise, the algorithm is you're going to be penalized for that. Obviously, they can't control who they're ranking, so at the moment, they're doing the best they can. And throughout the season, obviously, the more you win, you're going to start matching harder alliances, so that strength of schedule will climb for them, and as long as they continue clearing the way that they have, they are going to be in the conversation for top 3 at the end of the season, and they're going to shoot right up this leaderboard as well. So anyway, I just wanted to make a little note about that as well. All right, and then here there are a few things to note. SSX has been really strong this season. They're 4-0. They're 3rd on the in-game leaderboard. They beat LVT, which isn't really saying much, frankly. We've been awful this season so far. New Nation has obviously dropped a ton just on this spreadsheet. And in-game, they got screwed out of a win, which I think that they'll get repaid. So Noon is a top 10 alliance, right? There's no doubt about that. Through 4 wars, they haven't been a top 10 alliance. They've struggled a little bit more than normal, but by the end of the season, I would put anything on them being somewhere around the top 5. All right, but that's just it just is what it is. LVT, we're 3-1. We came into the season preseason ranked 12th. We finished last season ranked 10th in this spreadsheet anyway. You guys can see 17th in efficiency. We've been really bad. And, last season I accused, I guess you could say, just purely reading numbers without any bias, I accused some alliances on some occasions of being lucky, right? And people got upset about that. But here's the thing. The data doesn't have any ulterior motives. And so last season when GGIR starts 4-0 and they're dying 20 times a war, but they're still winning, you can understand why I would say, hey, that alliance has been lucky this season. I'm not saying that as a negative. It's just they have been. It just is what it is. LVT has been very lucky this season. We've been very bad. We've been very lucky. We should be 1-3 right now. We should be probably lower on the spreadsheet. Wins, is a weighted category in terms of the scoring. So I just wanted to get that out there. I'm not manipulating anything to try to make my alliance look better. And frankly, I'm a little embarrassed that it has us at 13th because we have not been a top 15 alliance. And then you look at alliance like Sweden's alliance down there at 17. Why are they so low? Well, It's purely because they're 1-3 and they're 13th in efficiency. Obviously, that's better than LVT, but we have 2 more wins than them, and the algorithm, you know, it tries to manage all this stuff. It tries to balance all this stuff, and the more data that we give it, so throughout the course of the season with more wars input into the spreadsheet, it's going to be more accurate. But as of right now, that's just how it is, and yeah, I don't know. You're just going to have to deal with it. All right, CIRR and Next. They have those purple up-down arrows. They were unranked coming to the preseason. Both finished in Platinum 1 last season. Both have been surprisingly pretty decent, but again, the spreadsheet likes them because they're 3-1. You can see that both of them have unranked strengths of schedule. I know that Next, their only loss was to 4Loki, and 4Loki has been awesome this season. So the other 3 alliances that Next matched were way, way down. All right, so that is it, guys. Leave a like and a comment. You don't have to leave a like, but leave a comment. Let me know kind of what your thoughts are. I'm sure that there are going to be some people that are upset with this, that think that the numbers are stupid or something. And if that's the case, that's totally fine. Just keep in mind, again, you know, this stuff will work out by the end of the season. The more data that it eats, the more accurate it's going to be. If you guys have any questions about specific things, you know, ask them in the comment section. I'll do my best to answer them. And then I think I said this earlier in the video, but a link will be in the description box where you guys can click on the master sheet and view it. You should be able to, through that link, view the actual algorithm. You guys can see exactly what the equation is. You can see all of the scoring weights. You can see all of the scoring categories. You can see all of the alliances' scores in each category and all that stuff. So if you have questions, why is this alliance ranked here? Why is there efficiency here? Blah, blah, blah. You guys can probably find the answer on that sheet, but if you just want to ask me in the comment section too, that's totally fine. So anyway, leave a like and a comment if you want, and we will do war by war updates moving forward. So I will catch you in the next one.